What makes the club special in your eyes?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the club is a very, very special part of my life. Going back, as I said earlier on, to when I started off playing in 1960 as a 12-year-old, I came through, was involved in the committee that, really in every committee that did any development in the club. I was involved in the fundraising as treasurer in the buying of the pitch and the development of the first pitch. I was involved in the development of the second pitch. I remember I was acting as development officer, and we got a grant of 62,000 for the bottom pitch, which was huge money in those days. Moving on, then we had all sorts of different developments, and I was involved in obtaining grants and all of those things. Probably the biggest, most lasting memory was what they call the small training pitch at the minute, which was opened in 2015. And as development officer, I worked, I'd say, for 12 years trying to obtain grants for that. The committee, I think it would probably be about 2006, we went to, I think it was Orem in County Monaghan, to look at the setup that they have. And at that time there were grants of all kinds available in the south for development pitches, and they had used it to the full. We managed to obtain the ground from Sean Hughes across the ditches, to say, and we applied for grant aid to have that pitch developed about 2007. We were told we would need to have planning permission and a couple of different things that before we went ahead, and we were advised to wait until I think it was 2008 or 2009. And when that came along, then there was a complete freeze on funding. There was no more funding then until probably 2014 maybe. And out of the blue, I was still a development officer, and out of the blue I got a message from a woman called Catherine McInerney to say that we had been shortlisted to get funding for, it was money that was allocated to develop the Long Kesh prison, and it was European money, and whenever there was problem with the unionists, they didn't want it developed because it might be a centre of nationalism, and that money was going back into Europe, and the money was allocated then to different projects, and the projects were to be selected. And this lady I was speaking to, Catherine McInerney, she had a big lot of influence. I had spoken to her on many occasions before that, and she pushed for our project to be included in the funding. And initially we had the McGurks of Derry, the architects, and through Catherine McInerney we were awarded a grant of 250,000, and at the same time I was advised that one of the other projects there was we're looking for, it was from a unionist tradition project, and they had sought funding from the Newry and Mourne Council as it was then, and they were claiming to get 100,000 along with the funding that they were getting from the DSD, and we put in a similar claim for 100,000, and due to the local councillors here, they more or less made a deal that they would support the other club if they supported us, and that's what happened. So it ended up we got a total funding for that project, which was the new training pitch with floodlighting and all the rest of it. And the total grant came to 349,000 and some odd pence, I think. But that pitch was developed and opened in 2015, and now is very much part of the club development or club ongoing projects that they have there today. And I would consider that as one of my greatest achievements within the club, to be involved in the development of that pitch.